Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel and the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel. This is Pro Wrestling Logic. This is the AEW report for the, the 4th of May 2022. Lots of interesting things in this show. Adam Cole joins on commentary to deal with the Jeff Hardy with Matt Hardy defeating Bobby Fish with Kyle O'Reilly in the Owen Hart qualifier. Fish takes Hardy down early, and Dragon Screw leg whip turns attention to Hardy's midsection. Hardy avoids a senton. Fish hits a second Dragon Screw on the floor, sends Hardy into the barricade. Darby Allin and Sting look on ahead of this. Jawbreaker from Hardy buys him some time. Takes things down with high kicks. Hardy comes back, strikes in a leg drop for a near fall, climbs to the top turnbuckle. Fish then knocks down and then hits an avalanche falcon arrow for a near fall. Hardy then kicks out into a knee bar and has a fight to reach the ropes. Hardy then hits the Whisper in the Wind, climbs the ropes again, crushing Fish with a swanton for the win. After the match, Young Bucks exchange glances with the Hardys before checking on their friend, Mr. Fish. William Regal video promo plays. He's training. Wheeler Yuta talks about the unique brand of violence that his group brings. He also ends up joining on commentary. And it's super quick. Blackpool Combat Club, Danielson, Moxley, and Yuta defeat Andrade, Family Office, Butcher, Blade, and Angelico. This match didn't really need to be here, but we do six-mans for the sake of six-mans. Andrade Family Office gets attacked before the bell, and Angelico tries a Livila submission on Danielson. He hits some kicks. Yuta then unloads a bunch of offense on Blade, but then is overwhelmed by his opponent ahead of the break. Yuta then dumps Butcher on the back of his head, and Moxley comes in with a hot tag. Moxley tosses Blade out to ringside area over the timekeeper's table and into the ring steps. Back in the ring, Moxley hits a cutter and hits the Butcher in the face before taking out Angelico with a lariat. Danielson tags back in and lands a missile dropkick before kicking Angelico's head and locks on the triangle for a stoppage. Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs, Team Taz are backstage talking about their title change. Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, Christian Cage interrupt, and Jungle Boy offering to spice things up with a shot at the FTW Championships. Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland are backstage. Swerve said he has unfinished business with Team Taz. Lee said he would swerve in the glory. I actually like that tag team a lot. And then we go to Wardlow coming out handcuffed and accompanied by security with no music or anything else. MJF and Shawn Spears emerged. He insults the fans and says he'd watch the match in the back. MJF said Wardlow shouldn't be scared because the man coming out is 7 feet tall. W. Morrissey, formerly Big Cass in WWE and currently part of Impact. Wardlow defeats Morrissey. Morrissey uses a bunch of agility early, gets rid of Wardlow, sends him to the outside. Back in the ring, Morrissey continues to dominate. Black Hole Slam gets a near fall. The fight for position top rope. Wardlow takes Morrissey out with an imperfect moonsault that still looks amazing. Wardlow then hits single powerbomb for the win. After the match, Wardlow refused to be handcuffed and attacked the security guards. MJF and Spears called for reinforcements, and then a bunch of people run out. Wardlow takes them out, all powerbombing all but one of them in the ring into a pile. And then Wardlow grabs the mic and says that he wouldn't stop until he gets his hands on MJF or they release him from his contract. MJF said that Wardlow would have to do another match. Before that happens, he needs a couple of conditions which he'd go over in a contract, signing in Long Beach next week. For the qualified women for the Owen Hart Women's Cup backstage, Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter will take on Tori Storm and Ruby Soho on Rampage. Soho can't wait to get her hands on Britt Baker. Hangman Page cuts promo. Champs brought out by Tony Schiavone asked about CM Punk's challenge. He said it's easy to talk about how excited he was to face Punk and how he's looking forward to the match, but that's not going to happen. Double or Nothing, there's not going to be a handshake or tribute match because at Double or Nothing, Page is going to destroy Punk. I don't know why he's so angry at Punk. Anyway, Page notes that when Punk said that after the match he'd be returning to the merch stand to get a refund. Punk's not here tonight, and Page suspects he's out filming another television show. Page gets to embarrass Punk and give him the fight of his life at Double or Nothing. Takashiwa is announced for Rampage. I guess there's people that care about this sort of thing. Anyway, cameras cut backstage for Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, and Sumit Singh. Dutt and Lethal are asked why the red carpet before Lethal challenged Terashima to a match on Rampage. Not necessarily a fan of this, but whatever. Jericho with Jericho Appreciation Society defeats Santana with Ortiz. Santana attacks with a dive before the bell, and two teams brawl on the outside. Jericho's splits basically, and the match gets underway. Jericho uses the official as protection from the distraction. Jericho then hits springboard, dropkick, and takes control, leading to a commercial. Back from the break, Bulldog from Santana starts. Comeback follows up with the Three Amigos suplex, and then hits Frog Splash, getting Jericho, and fights out Fireman's Carry and locks on the walls of Jericho. Santana reaches the ropes, and two men trade chops before reversing the rolling cutter from Santana for near fall. Ortiz stops Angelo Parker and Daniel Garcia from using Floyd the Bat, and they get dispatched. Jake Hager hits a discus lariat for a near fall distraction. Matt Menard allows Jericho to hit low blow and Judas Effect for the win. After the match, Jericho Appreciation Society continues to beat down Santana and Ortiz. Announcer said Eddie Kingston couldn't be here as he's recovering from a fireball. Jericho whacked both men with Floyd as Jericho Appreciation Society stands tall. This is regularly the worst of things. Samoa Joe addresses Jay Lethal and says he's coming for him on Rampage. Gun Club backstage, and they are approached by the Acclaimed with gifts. The gifts are scissors, and they all celebrated. Anyway, Varsity Blonde calls out House of Black. Varsity Blonde and Julia Hart are in the ring. Pillman said they're humbled by the encounter with House of Black, but now he wanted everything to be torn apart little by little. He remembered to quote best friend, late John Harbaugh Attack, was enthusiasm known as mankind. Pillman didn't do that, and House of Black drove them apart, but now he's feeling enthusiastic and wants to fight House of Black. Not a good promo here. Lights go out. House of Black make their entrance, surrounded by they surround the blondes in the ring. They beat them down. Hart is in the ring, didn't even react. Black approaches Hart, who's shaking, but Murphy brought her into the fold. King gives her a chair and demands she attack Griff Garrison with it, but she takes too long, so Black snapped and ripped her eye patch off. Death Triangle runs down, and House of Black runs away. Jade Cargill, Mark Sterling, and the baddies backstage. Sterling puts over the group accomplishments, and Jade said Red Velvet would win the tournament. Then we go to the Owen Hart Foundation Cup qualifier. Ray Phoenix with Pac and Penta defeats Dante Martin. Phoenix lands a dive early, taking control. Back from commercial, Dante comes back with a Tope Suicida. Upon return, Phoenix hits inverted Spanish fly for near fall. Dante returns with a bunch of kicks and a crossbody for the near fall. And I gotta grab my phone, so we'll be back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail with more right after this. And again, I mean, kind of moving towards the idea of some degree of, um, you know, AEW is a. They try to fit too much into their 2 hour shows, let's be completely honest. And I don't think even they would disagree with that. But anyhow, we move back towards the nature of the remainder of the show and kind of moving forward towards kind of getting there in a good direction. We have um, the finish of that and then an inverted gut wrench. Phoenix cradles Dante with a Huracan Rana for yet another near fall. Jockeying for position on the apron. Phoenix sets him up for cutter for near fall. Dante counters with a driver into a cradle before landing a thrust kick. Climbs the ropes, but before he stops, he then goes up for an inverted Spanish fly. Both men land on their feet there, and Dante hits a poison rana and goes for the nosedive double jump moonsault, but Phoenix avoids that. Phoenix then gets Dante into position for an elevated fire throat driver for the win. Owen Hart men's first round matches. Ray Phoenix, Kyle O'Reilly, Jeff Hardy, Darby Allin, Adam Cole, Dax Harwood, and Samoa Joe versus the Joker, which I guess is a mystery entrant. Darby Allin addresses Jeff Hardy, saying it would be a special night. Sting said both men would pull out all the stops. Thunder Rosa comes out. She tells everyone a story. She stands in front of everyone and as a world champion. She says Lil Mara, despite coming in with no expectations, she called the number one contender someone she drove 8 hours to see at one point in her career, Serena Deeb, and then Deeb came out. She said she truly believes that AEW can have the best women's division in the world, but to make that happen, the best wrestler in the world needs to be the champion. Deeb is on another level in the class of her own, and time that she has a championship to show that. Double or Nothing, she's taking the title. AEW Rampage for the 6th. Dr. Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter versus Tori Storm and Rui Soho. Takahashi versus Jay Lethal, Hook and JD Drake. And women's qualifier Riho and Yuki Sakazuki. Then we go to AEW Dynamite 511, and that is Owen qualifier, or quarterfinal rather. Darby Allin and Jeff Hardy. Owen Cup quarterfinal, Adam Cole, Dax Haywood. MJF Wardlow contract signing, and FTW championships, Ricky Starks and Jungle Boy, and CM Punk and John Silver. Next week's Dynamite sure looks interesting. Then we go to the pay-per-view lineup. Double or Nothing, 529. Hangman Page, CM Punk for the World Championship, Women's Championship, Thunder Rosa and Serena Deeb. Men's Owen Hart Cup Final, and Women's Owen Hart Cup Final. John Silver dresses CM Punk. He said they are wrestling in his hometown next week, and he's the meat man. Undisputed Women's Championship match. Mercedes Martinez defeats Deanna Purrazzo, champion. Not a bad match, but an interesting way to close the show. Back and forth chain wrestling with Purrazzo eventually gaining upper hand during the commercial break. Martinez spears Purrazzo on the apron, and they trade forearms, center of the ring until Martinez clotheslines back suplex and a couple of boots for near fall. Purrazzo comes back with a moonsault press for near fall. Martinez then escapes a pile driver and hits a running knee, following a Fisherman Buster for 2 more. Purrazzo then hits an exploder suplex for a near fall. They trade cradles until clotheslines and a double down. Martinez hits a Samoan driver and a curve stomp before Romero special into Dragon Sleeper finishes it, and Mercedes Martinez is now your ROH Women's Champion holder. And then we will move on to the next one. We'll be back with more right after this.